Hi, I'm Ollie Double and I teach a module in stand-up comedy at the University of Kent. And normally what happens at the end of it is we do a show at the Gulbenkian. We do two shows, in fact, 2 nights, and we get audiences of about 100 a night. It's fantastic. Of course, that couldn't happen this year because of the lockdown. So instead, the students submitted videos. And it was really hard for them to do that because they could just do their video to themselves or to the mirror or to their housemates or whatever. And so they didn't do the normal kind of give and take that you get with an audience. And also they didn't get the public recognition. That's what this is about. This is a compilation of some of the students' work, okay? And I'm your compere, so I'm going to warm you up to watch the show, as I'm calling it now. And so what we're going to do is I've got a little song that I've made on my Casio sampling keyboard. Oh yes indeed. And it's got some audience participation bits in, so I want you to join in at home. Now I know you're probably not going to, but if you do, you'll be much more ready for comedy at the end of it. Okay, you will be totally ready for comedy at the end of this sequence. So I'm going to get you to shout things out. I'm going to get you to do things with ordinary household objects that you'll have lying around, just ordinary stuff that you'll definitely have lying around the home. And if you can keep up with me, we'll have a brilliant time. Okay, here we go. If you're ready for comedy, let me hear you say yeah. Yeah! If you're ready for comedy, let me hear you say woo. Woo! If you're ready for comedy, let me see you put a cushion on your shoulder. And if you're ready for comedy, let me see you ring a little bell shaped like a lady. And if you're ready for comedy, let me see you put a womble on your other shoulder. And if you're ready for comedy, let me see you read a book by the American comedian Dick Gregory, published in 1971. Probably not the whole thing. And if you're ready for comedy, let me see you stroke a small action figure of Donald Trump. And if you're ready for comedy, let me see you eat an entire banana in one go. If you're ready for comedy, let me hear say yeah! If you're ready for comedy, let me hear say yeah! And if you're ready for comedy, let me hear say yeah! Right, I'm totally ready for comedy now. So, we've got a load of amazing acts. And the first one is Katie Russo. Now, there's a bit of banana. Now, what I've done for each act is I've found an anagram of their name to introduce them. And Katie Russo turns into Suit Soaker. Amazing. I've set the bar really high for the anagrams. So please, go mad at home. Please clap, yell, applaud, and you go woo, and you stamp your feet and everything like that for our first amazing act. It is Katie Russo!
Hi everyone, and welcome to a comprehensive rating of Disney's Fab Five. By me, the only person whose opinion matters. So welcome. Today we'll be discussing Disney's Fab Five. Now, I understand that wasn't a topic that needs to be discussed, nor did anyone ask for it, but what you have to understand is that I don't care. So, a quick disclaimer, I am aware that I'm a 21-year-old with a Disney obsession. I don't need you to tell me that, but I've said it before, and I will be saying it again. I don't care. So I'm aware of the stereotypes of the grown-up Disney fan. You've got tips for going on holiday without your kids, weddings. This is a grown-up woman dressed as a cartoon child. That's not normal. And this person hates Mickey Mouse. And although I like Disney and obviously I'm a fan, I just would like to make it really clear that I'm not to the level that some of these people are. And I just wanted to make that really clear so we're all starting on the same page. So who are the Fab Five? Fab Five consists of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto. Sometimes they include Daisy Duck, Donald's bird, but I won't be including her today because I don't care. So we've got 4 main criteria for the ranking system today because I'm taking this seriously, and if you're not, then you should be. How much joy they bring me, how easy they were to draw, the best signature, and the best character interaction personally. So let's get on with it. First off, the main man, Mickey Mouse. There we are. He looks starstruck, I don't know about you. Clearly an icon, everyone knows him, and he does bring me joy. It's like a celebrity. Absolute piece of piss to draw, there he is. Bit of a round head, but I think that might be more my fault than it is his. Decent signature, pretty classy, little swoop-de-whoop. You can't go wrong with a little swoop-de-whoop. And once from rolling around on the floor, which was really, really great. So Mickey, for me, gets a solid 4 out of 5. And if you don't agree, I don't care. Now, his main squeeze, Minnie Mouse. Speaking of squeezing, there she is squeezing me, gazing off into the distance, wishing she were anywhere else. She does bring me joy, not as much as Mickey, and she's not as easy to draw as Mickey because of that fucking bow. But it's fine because her signature makes up for it. Little hearts over the eyes. Oh, what more could you want? And she's been pretty sassy every time I've met her. Bam, there she is. So, Minnie, for me, a 3 out of 5. Not as good as Mickey. Disagree? I don't care. Here's Donald. Here he is, giving me a cuddle. The sweetest little thing. So cheeky and a fashion icon. Please, we've got Halloween. We've got chefs. We've got Mexican. Cultural appropriation? No. Style. Range. We love it. His drawing. Precious. Look. Oh. How much? What more could you want? What more could you want? And he's number 1. He says so himself. He's just great every time I've met him. So Donald, for me, he does get 164 sorry, out of 5. I'm just so excited. And if you do disagree, I have to put my foot down here. I don't care. So we go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows to Goofy. There he is. I don't care enough to even find a good quality picture of him. Absolutely not. He freaks me out. Why is he married to a cow? He's a dog, but he can talk. It's confusing. Even the drawing freaks me out. I don't think that's my fault. Boring. I've had no interactions with him. I never want to have any interactions with him. Don't let your child know Goofy. He's a prick. Okay? And for that reason, he gets minus 1,000 out of 5. I don't make the rules. And finally, we've got Pluto. There he is. Why doesn't he get to speak? He's a dog. Very confusing. He's a good boy, does his best, pretty lovable. What kind of demon? I'm not sure what went wrong there. We're just going to move right along. He's got a paw print over the O. Very cute, I'm a fan. And one time when I saw him, he dropped cards on the floor and was rolling about, and I'm not sure where this whole thing, these creatures rolling around on the floor when I meet them, but hey. So the final ranking for Pluto is a 3 out of 5. So the official ranking, up there at the top, we've got Donald with 164 out of 5. Oh yes, we do. And down in the depths of hell, we've got Goofy at minus 1,000. So, thanks so much. All opinions are final and I will not be hearing otherwise, and I will not be taking questions at this time. And remember, if you do disagree, I will send Goofy into your room at night just for precaution. And let me just leave you with this. I know I've been quite harsh here, and I know some people's favourite characters might be attacked, but I just need you to remember that in this day and age, it is really important to just remember that I don't care. Okay? Thanks so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.
That was Katie Russo there. Let's have a massive round of applause. You'll notice I've changed the virtual backdrop for this link, but don't worry about that. I'm going to be doing it all the way through. I mean, why not exploit the technology? So our next act is a very different kind of an act. He is Doug Thirkell-White, or in anagram terms, he is Hitler Ghoul Duke-It. Yes, Hitler Ghoul Duke-It. That's amazing anagram work from me. Okay, so I'd like you to give a massive round of applause for our next fantastic act. He is the one, the only Doug Thirkell-White.
Hello everyone. There we go, my microphone is working now. Hello and welcome to some quarantine comedy. I thought, well, here I am. I've been doing a lot of thinking recently. I presume everyone else has, not much else to do really. And I've been thinking about technology. It's how intriguing it is and how amazing it can be. Like, look at it. It's just a little brick of light and radiation, and you can do so much. Just do a bit of typing here and there, and then you do that, and you suddenly delete your entire phone. Yikes, okay, something I'll have to deal with later. But it can also be infuriating, can't it? It can be really annoying. Like printers, for example. We have a printer here in my flat, and every time, well, some of my flatmates have to practice for exams, and every time they print out something, it just goes, I was looking at your practice exam, and I thought, how about I paint it in blue and green, like, just add it some creative, artistic measure. Get you some creative points. Just a bit of blue and green all over the place. Just randomly, not even at all. And it's like, thank you, yes, that's exactly what I needed for my exam, is some creativity. Thank you very much for that. But dealing with printers in general is so annoying, isn't it? You get this, like, box. You have to plug it, excuse the train, that's rude as hell. You have to plug it in, you then have to power it on, put the power button on there as well, and then when you finally think you're done and nothing else have to deal with, you just go and like print, and then you're just ready, and it's just like, alright, print, and it's just there going, I really don't want to print. No, give me 5 more minutes. I just want a nap, and some sleepy time, and some sleep, and a nap, and some sleep. And it's like dealing with a child. It is like trying to get a child to do their homework. It's impossible. Like, they need so much. Like, it's just like, you're just like, print. Like, no, I don't want to print. I want to sleep. Or at least let me, like, do something fun. Like, print a photo of some puppies or landscape or something. Something like that. I don't want to print. It's just, they're so needy, like children sometimes as well, aren't they? You just like, okay, can you print out my essay? Doesn't he just print it out my essay, please? It's like, I need some paper and some magenta. You need magenta for a essay that has only text. Yes, I need some magenta. Why do you need magenta? I need magenta. You hear me? I need magenta. I need magenta. You get it? I need magenta. Okay, fine. I'll get you some magenta. Fine. Alright. Alright, here we go. There's some paper. And here's your magenta. What the fuck is this? Well, it's magenta ink, isn't it? That's the kind of ink you wanted. It's not for my printer. Yes, it is. It's Canon ink. It's Canon ink for Canon printer. There you go. It should work. This is for a Canon MX738. I am a Canon MX838. Do you get it? This isn't my ink. Now go get me my magenta, or I will cry. Okay, fine. I'll get you your magenta. Jeez, bloody printer. Right, here you go. Fine, just open up and just go. What are you doing? Has no one told you can't just shove it in? Jeez, fine, there you go. Printing out now. What's going on now? I seem to have a paper jam. Could I have an extension as well or something? It's like, you uni student now or what? Like, I'm sorry. Could I have some magenta, please, as well? Hope you enjoyed, everyone. Thank you very much for being here.
That was Doug Thirkell-White. Now, I'm doing another link, so it's a different virtual backdrop. Amazing. And let's have the next act right away. It's Chris Atkinson, or in anagram terms, Shrink Actions. That's an amazing anagram by me. And okay, so we're gonna see Chris Atkinson in action now. in Shrink Actions now, so please give a massive round of applause wherever you are, even if you sat alone in the room and feeling a little bit self-conscious about it, for the next act, who is, of course, Chris Atkinson.
Thank you. So, if you've never met me before, I just want to say hi, I'm Chris. There's a few things that you might want to know about me. One of those that I have transcended the concept of the gender binary. Yeah, that's right. I believe that having one set of pronouns is beneath me. And because I use both male and non-binary pronouns, it gives me this unique experience of looking at men from the outside, as it were. And I've noticed some stuff that I really disagree with, okay? It's something that I really need to talk about. Right, so I hate how fragile some straight guys are. You know the ones I'm talking about. In terms of fragility, it's like bone china, glass, those men. The ones you have to handle with more care than my mum's new trifle bowl. It's not a universal thing. I've met some really tough guys. They like hugs, they dance, they cry without being embarrassed. But the rest? Snowflakes. One and all. If you say something that can be construed as critical of them, even if it is as innocuous as saying that some forms of masculinity are inherently toxic, they will act like you've told them that they're basically fucking Hitler. Right? Like, I'm sorry, does the big strong man need a safe space? Oh, right, you have one. It's called fucking everywhere. I've noticed that one of the main areas when men are fragile is when it comes to hygiene, which is wild when you think about it. Oh, I don't like washing my hands, it's gay. What the fuck? Because, yeah, cleanliness is a sign of homosexuality and not, an attractive sign that you look after yourself. If I had £1 for every man on Twitter who I've seen over the past few days write something on the lines of, can't wait for coronavirus to be over so I can go back to not cleaning myself, lol, then I could afford enough hand sanitizer to survive an encounter with one of those freaks. One of my favourite things about fragile men is that they have this compulsive need to make things manly when they really don't need to. Take moisturiser. I use moisturiser. It's good. It helps protect my skin. It protects it from getting damaged. It's great. But men have this obsession with not using moisturiser unless it has this incredibly macho bullshit branding. So you have moisturisers called stuff like Man Cave, or Bulldog, or L'Oreal, Men Experts. It's fucking inane. It's only a matter of time before we get moisturisers that are called stuff like Chainsaw, or Bastard, or just Tits. It's so dumb. Because think about it, when you think of healthy skin, the first thing that pops into your head is the dog whose image is used to sell car insurance to overly patriotic wankers. Wikipedia literally describes bulldogs as being muscular, hefty dogs with a wrinkled face. Wrinkles are literally the opposite of what a moisturiser should cause. Right, so a guy I used to live with once told me that he doesn't put deodorant on after he showers, saying, and I quote, that it covered up his natural musk. Musk! You know what I think of when I hear the word musk? I think of musk oxes, an actual animal from the Arctic that smells like shit when it fucks. Okay, look, I'll admit it. There are a few circumstances under which you're allowed to use the word musk in a conversation. One, you are a hunter in a feudal/medieval village, or two, you are a historian whose area of study are hunters in medieval villages, and that's it. Notice how that list does not include being an 18-year-old law student from modern-day Essex. It's getting to the point now where I am just so done with men being fragile, especially when it comes to fragrance and hygiene, because it is just so dumb. And after looking at all these men's hygiene products, I think I could come up with a deodorant that could be super appealing to fragile men. So my pitch is, it would be called Stank, right? Because smelling nice is, for gay people, so we would call it Stank, because it smells stanky. Okay, and the packaging would feature a Viking who is the manliest of men, and the scent would be that of sweat, blood, and engine oil. And if that sounds terrible, you're right. Stank is pretty fucking bad. But here's the worst thing about it. It wouldn't be marketed as deodorant. Oh no. It would be promoted as a musk. Thank you very much.
That was Chris Atkinson there. Wasn't he amazing? Let's give another round of applause for Chris Atkinson. Okay, obviously a different virtual backdrop here. A slightly boring one. Let's change it. Yeah, that's loads better. Okay, our next act is the amazing Daria Grace. Or, in anagram terms, a dear cigar. Yes, a dear cigar. So please give a huge, in your own house, welcome by making a lot of applause and screaming and yelling and all that kind of thing for the amazing Daria Grace.
So I'm originally from Los Angeles, surprise. And it sounds like it could be cool, but I'm from the black part, so it's different. Like, for me, going to school was kind of weird because I kind of had like a Hannah Montana life, you know? Like, I'd go to school with a bunch of rich white kids, just like Miley Cyrus. But instead of going home every night and becoming an international pop star, at the end of every day, I take off my blonde wig on the bus ride. I go home to the kind of neighborhood where they shut the street lights off after 11 p.m. Government was like, they can guess. It was kind of like a risky ass game of bumper cars where you just do the sign of the cross before you drive and hope you have good karma. It's fine though, because they also shut off the street lamps so you can't see anyways. Oh, did I say shut off? I meant install. They never installed the street lamps.
Yeah, like that.
So home sweet home. My neighborhood though, like, I mean, even though it was bad sometimes, it still had a lot of, what's the word? Crime, right? So it was like a let's play with hoses and play hopscotch in the streets kind of place. It was very much like you'd be cooking at 11 p.m. because that's when we have dinner in the hood. So you'd be cooking, preparing a meal, trying to pretend that those pops outside are just those old October fireworks again. I mean, there is a lot of character though, I'm not gonna lie, because we don't have access to the same resources as white neighborhoods. We just had to come up with our own bootleg versions of things. Like, we didn't have H&M or Forever 21. We had stores called Get It Girl. And Fabu, which doesn't even kind of sound like a real brand. Store called Fancy Stuff, right? You know. But you know what my neighborhood lacked in legal goods, it made up for in character. So to give you a better indication of what my neighborhood was like, I decided to bring in some reviews from a local clothing store that, for the purpose of defamation, shall remain nameless. But this is just to give you an idea of some of the people you could meet or the kinds of places you can visit in LA. Now, I want to just reiterate that point. I did not fabricate these reviews in any way for comedy. These were typed by real people who currently live in Los Angeles. They are accessible to all of you, for all of you on Yelp, okay? You can research these reviews. So this first review we have is from Sean P. Sean writes, my only complaint is the incredibly strong smell of weed in the back of the store, especially by the employees only room. I don't care what you do during your lunch break, but doing it inside one of the store's rooms is not professional. And the real crime was that they didn't offer me any. 3 stars. So this next one is from Angela A. Just went in today, saw someone peeing in the aisle. You know, just out in the open in the women's clothing section. I informed an employee, but she did not seem interested. She shrugged it off, but offered me an 85% discount on what was now called the urine-soaked section. Would go again, so 5 stars. I cannot stress enough that I did not fabricate these reviews for comedic effect. For this next one, I just thought you should know that their profile picture was a large pepperoni pizza. So this person was obviously white. So bear with me. This is from Blue U. I bought some stuff and let the security guard, and the security guard called me a racial slur and put his hands on me. The manager said they talked to him, not fire, talk to him. They won't get another dime from me, 1 star. Now for me, I just think they got lost in the wrong neighborhood. My only question is, how did they get there? That's the only thing I'm struggling with. So for this last review, I'm gonna be practicing my accent work because just from the way this was written, I assume this was a middle-aged man from New Jersey, all right? I just need a second, get into character. Ooh. This last one is from Roberto V. Yup, I'm a closet insert store name here fan. Okay. Some people would say not so closeted about it. Okay, though it ain't exactly designer fashions from the last runway show, but good enough for basics. And every once in a while, kapowie, you'll unearth a gem that the low-end clientele doesn't recognize as such. And you'll wonder how the hell it even made it into inventory. $10 Ben Sherman shirt, ka-ching. I don't care if it was shoplifted from Bloomingdale's and sold to the store by an employee. Don't buy the parachute pants or anything else that makes you look too dated. I never looked much at the house stuff until I finally wanted to replace my platinum pillows that were way overdue for the dumpster. Back in the corner, I stumbled across a whole bunch of brand new pillows, $1.99 each. No stains, no bed bugs, not made of asbestos, score. So I said I still needed to practice. I didn't say the accent was good, so.
That was Daria Grace. Wasn't she amazing? Okay, our next act is Ethan Walker, or in anagram terms, Hawk ate Wren. That could happen in real life, because like Hawk's a big bird and a wren is a very small one. Okay, so please make an enormous noise to welcome to the stage our next fine and funny act. He is Ethan Walker!
Hello everyone. How you doing, mate? Wow, fuck you now. What a great turnout. Thanks for coming, Jesus. What's up, love? Get your number after the show, right? Get your number after the show. Christ. I only get started. You'll be happy to hear this. I broke up with my long-term girlfriend recently. She cheated. Fucking broke my trust completely. But it did make me realise this one thing. It's the last time I ever let a girl lead the banking monopoly. Being single was not that bad though. Any single people here? Calm down. You know, quarantine's made it worse though. I mean, I can't do my weekly routine of getting smashed and trying the worst possible pickup lines I can. I remember before all this started, I tried this one on a girl. I went to her. Are you Kobe Bryant in a helicopter? Because I want to make you scream when I go down. Worked instantly. But this COVID-19, coronavirus, kung flu, you know, whatever you want to call it, because British people don't actually call it anything, do they? They just go, all this shit going on, you know. But it is fucking bad though. I mean, people are losing their jobs, family members are catching it, family members are dying from it. But worse than all of that is one of my housemates has gone home. We weren't even particularly close. It's just I've been self-isolated so long. I'm starting to miss the sounds of him shagging his girlfriend for the walls. But my favourite thing about coronavirus is I can smoke weed and play video games as much as I want and no one cares. It's fucking great. Except when you spend 4 hours, you know, creating the best possible character you can, you know, doing his hair, making him big, you know, even doing the distance between his eyebrows, you know, going into so much detail, and then you'll spend the rest of the game with a helmet on. Girls are watching this being like, no, I don't understand. Right, it's like when you spend 4 hours on hair and makeup on a night out just to get fingered for half a VK. Pointless. But I shouldn't really joke about this pandemic. My computer died of a virus. The thing I missed most before all of this started, you know, is not seeing that constant whining on social media. I mean, I'm stuck in a shitty student house in Hales Place with 2 shitheads. But then you've got Sam Smith, the bell end, in a £12 million mansion in Hampstead, and he's whining about it. I mean, go for a walk in there, mate. Fucking hell, it'll take you about a week to complete it. Yeah, but the thing I missed most before all of this started now is the gym. I had the best vending machine for snacks. Thank you for coming, thank you.
So that was Ethan Walker there. I'm not going to lie, that wasn't the best anagram I found for Ethan Walker, but the one that I found, which I'm sort of actually quite amused even thinking back to, is far too rude. But if you're interested, there are anagram websites that you can find that if you just put Ethan Walker in, you will find a very funny 2-word phrase. Anyway, the next person is Adam Glen, and this is genuinely a brilliant description of him and his act, right? This anagram, and in fact, if he makes it, his first Edinburgh show should have this as its title. So the anagram for Adam Glen, Mad Angel. That is an amazing anagram. So please welcome onto your screen the amazing Adam Glen.
Alright guys, it's great to be here in my own home. Just a minute ago I had my cock out and now I'm wearing a tie. But yeah, willies aside, the whole situation outside is pretty scary. You know, pollen's back and you can't be sneezing outside because people are like, stay away from him, Timmy, he's got the hay fevers, which is terrifying. So I've been staying indoors a lot, and that has made me watch a lot of Facebook videos, which are very weird because one minute they're videos of cat and dog love each other so much that they go and live up a tree, and the next minute they're how to cook meth with an apricot, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me because I've already got the proper equipment. So I've been having some mental health issues. So I decided to go outside and have a good social time, go and walk about a bit and have a big night out shopping. You know, so obviously I had to get ready, which the standards for clothes now have changed quite drastically. It used to be naked, clothes, formal attire. Now it's naked, clothes, shopping attire. Which, you know, there's not much in between the clothes and the shopping attire. You know, it goes dick, cock, willy, clothes, bar mitzvah clothes, which doesn't make sense because I'm not Jewish. So I'm standing in line for the shops, and everyone's standing 2 meters away from me because they don't want to catch the depression. Not the 1920s one, the one that I've got, me. And I'm standing there and I wait for the man he looks me up and down before I go into the shop. He takes me in, he's like, and I'm wearing this glorious gown. I'm feeling very fresh, mainly because it's the first time in 3 days that I've actually taken a fucking shower. And he looks me up and down and he says, go on, mate, go on. And then I go in because that's how shopping works. And I just went in. So I went to go to the alcohol aisle because I like alcohol. That's something. And nothing's there. Absolutely nothing is there except for one beer. And if you don't know what that beer is, you should probably drink more. Which is pretty crazy, actually. I hear they're actually going out of business now, which, you know, people are fucking idiots. They probably thought, oh, if swine flu comes from pigs, then bird flu comes from birds. This must obviously come from beer. Yeah, I hear this actually happened once before in medieval Britain. You know, there was a lovely brewery called Bubonic. Lovely beer, just a really unfortunate name. So much like the plague, I am coming and I am going. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
That was Adam Glen there. Wasn't that an amazing exit that he made? It's one of the great showbiz exits of all time, I think. So that was the Mad Angel, Adam Glen. Next up we have George Leffman, or Elf Egg Foreman, as he's better known. So please make an enormous amount of noise in your own room, even if you're alone and you're feeling really self-conscious about applauding by yourself. For our next act, it is George Leffman.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for having me tonight. Wow, what a great audience. Wow, thank you so much for the turnout. Wow. So I've never done a stand-up gig before, so I'm very nervous. So, yeah, for those who do not know me, I've recently dyed my hair, yeah. Thanks for the compliments, thank you, yeah. I'm glad you love it, because I love it too. It was a very painful process. My scalp was burning, but it was all worth it because now I've got my sexy blonde shade that I've desired. But yeah, I did this because I was bored and I wanted to look sexy like Chris Hemsworth and Brad Pitt, but unfortunately it turned orange. So I ended up looking like Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un's love child. Yes, so my face says it wants to nuke America, yet my hair says it wants to make America great again. And Matt Whitney's at the door.
Sorry.
That's alright. But thank you for disturbing my performance. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Oh dear, oh dear. Wow, why don't you just come through and disturb my performance? Come on. Oh, come on.
Already go.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine. Keep going. No, it's fine. Yeah. Disturb my performance. Thank you so much. Yeah, do you want to stay here a bit longer? Yeah, walk right on stage. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, attention back on me. Attention back on me now. Thank you. Yeah, attention back on me. Thank you. Yes. So I realised that being blonde isn't easy. So yeah. Because yeah, I've been bullied. I've been called a K-pop star. I've been called Jake from the Tweenies, and I have been called a human Twinkie. I actually like that one because it meant I was being called a snack. So thanks to my cousin for saying that one. So yeah, I realised that being blonde isn't easy, especially if you're autistic, because when I was a lot younger, I was scared of hand dryers. So, because they were loud, and I thought they were going to eat my hand if I put it under there, you know, like, it goes, you know, I was always scared. So I just stick to the blue paper towels that you get in primary school, you know, but tap your hands on it, put it in the bin. So I've been scared of airflow devices ever since. So whenever girls offer me blowjobs, I get very petrified. And that basically defines my my success in my sex life and my pool game. So putting girls in a nightclub is not easy. It's very difficult. You know, we see in the movies, the guys walk in, they get a bird, they get dancing, and they go home, and you know what happens. But unfortunately, when I'm going to a nightclub, the nightclub is really loud, it's all crammed up and tight, you know, everyone's drunk. So when I was in a nightclub, you know, I tried to be smooth, you know, Mr. Dog's bollocks and that, you know. Me and the girl, we're chatting, you know, we're getting boogie, you know, just yeah, I'm a great dancer actually. Yeah, you should see me sometimes in the nightclub. I'm that guy in the nightclub who dances so well. So I'm talking to this girl, you know, with meeting eyes, you know, being sexy all night, and then I say, because I'm smooth, I say, I've been looking at you all night. Now, because the music is so loud that we can't hear each other, so I have to say it very loudly and go, I've been looking at you all night. That did not sound creepy at all. So, and then after that stage, the girl starts, grinding on me, that sexy dance, and the guy behind would obviously be, like reciprocating it back to her. But unfortunately, because the nightclub is so cramped and crowded, the guys can only get their hand around their waist and just about bend their knees and all that, do pliés and ballet. So, gentlemen, if you see a man performing Sugar Plum Fairy in a nightclub, you salute that man. Salute that lucky bastard. Because he's about to have a shag tonight. He's about to take her out and take her to town, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. So, as I was leaving the nightclub, walking past all the drunk bastards saluting at me, I walk outside with her, and yeah, she leans in seductively and says, "Want to go to the bathroom and dry our hands?" And yeah, that really made my night interesting and somewhat successful. But that is a story for another time. So can I say thank you very much, everybody. I've been George Leffman, and have a great evening. Good night, everybody.
That was George Leffman there. And next up we have an extraordinary act. He is also an amazing anagram. So next act is Alf White, or in anagram terms, a fit whale. Yes, a fit whale. So please do whatever the hell you want to welcome onto your computers the one, the other, Alf White.
Hello, and welcome to my stand-up assessment. I'll be honest, I wanted to perform what I'd done in the lectures and seminars, but in truth, it didn't feel right. It feels too far away, so it feels too weird. So instead, I thought I'd talk about my thoughts, feelings, what I've been doing in the coronavirus. I think that'd be quite nice and poignant and relevant. So that might be. I'm making jigsaws. Done a lot of jigsaws. That's been fun. I've been reading books. Got loads of books that I've read. That's pretty great. Pretty great books. I've been collecting my favourite JPEG images to use for backgrounds in one big folder. That's been fun. I've been doing paper mache as well. Done a lot of paper mache the book. Don't know if you can see that. So I've been feeling quite lonely. Paper mache the book. I've learned many things. I've learned many things as well. I've learned that if your quarantine partner tries to draw a penis on your stomach, don't try and turn it into a hat. I've learned that. I've been feeling very, very lonely. I made a clone. That's what I've done. I've cloned myself, and I've been paper macheing all of his body parts, so that when lockdown is lifted, he eventually inevitably escapes. I will create a model to remember him by. I've also been writing stories. I thought I might read you a story. It's about a woman called Linda, and it's entitled Linda. It had been a dark few months for Linda. She was always someone who tried to live her life to the fullest, seized every opportunity with both hands. Linda was a woman of passion. Her passions were many and widespread, but they always came back to the same four things: gardening, DIY, electricals, and homeware. The four pillars of her world. It follows then that she was distraught when 6 months ago, on the eve of her 52nd birthday, her local Robert Dias shut its doors for the foreseeable future. "Closed for refurbishment. See you soon," read the doors jovially as she arrived for her annual birthday visit. The party popper she was clutching dropped straight from her hand, and the kazoo she'd balanced in her mouth to announce her arrival let out a whimper that caused a passing dog to look up. Always one to grab life by the horns, and despite the initial shock, she made her way to home base. Sure, it wouldn't be exactly the same. They didn't have the same array of gardening paraphernalia, but they were on a par with DIY and electricals, and frankly, streets ahead with homeware. It's in the name. Linda was excited now. Home base. She repeated it over and over in her head as the words became two distinct, meaningless things. Two distinct words became 8 disconnected letters buzzing around her mind as she floored it on the way to the industrial estate. HOMEBASE. The letters floated about her head, eventually morphing back into that familiar white and orange font. There it was, nestled between Halfords and a big branch of Curry's PC World. It shone brighter in her eyes than 52 candles ever could. She fumbled about in the glove box. She fumbled about in the glove box for another party popper and made a beeline for the door. The door slid open with a swoosh, and Linda put her party popper to her lips. "Happy birthday to me," she yelled as she was wrestled to the floor by security. That's the story of Linda. I think I've got a hat as well. I forgot about my hat. Big hat. Big hat, right? Yeah, big hat. Yeah. Big hat. Yeah. Little hat. Yeah. Big hat. Little hat. Yeah. Stomach hat. So I think the point is that Linda enjoys the small things in life. Things that we might consider meaningless or trivial. She enjoys them, and maybe after this is all over and we get back to things that we've been deprived of, we will consider their value as much as Linda considers the value of home base. Sorry about the paper mache penis.
That was Alf White. Next up, we have Hannah Ost. Now, she was quite tricky to anagramise, but what I came out with was Hanson hat, right? So it's like, you know, like Hanson who did Mbop, right? Wearing a hat. Hanson hat. It's good. Because actually, if you were in Hanson, you basically have a blonde mullet, and putting a hat on is probably the best fashion choice. So, an amazingly funny and musical act for our penultimate act. Please applaud, whoop, cheer and yell for our next fine act. She is Hannah Ost.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a comedy singer-songwriter, and I usually start my sets by playing a little something to introduce me. This is something I've worked on quite a lot. I've played it quite a few times, and I've really been workshopping it just to make sure it's correct. This is my intro song. It isn't very long. So what I want to talk to you about today. I've had a tragic week. My God, tragic. All of my crockery just started appearing in high up places where I couldn't reach. No idea why. Everything in my house broke simultaneously. And obviously I've just been staring at it instead of fixing it, because why bother fixing anything now? Nobody's coming round to see my overflowing downstairs hole in the ground. Just going to leave it there. And on a serious note, I did lose a friend this week, not to COVID, thankfully. She got trapped in a room and a fire started and the door disappeared. I'm never playing The Sims again. The whole reason I even started playing was so that I could fill the gaping quarantine-shaped hole in my sex life by sitting alone in the dark, repeatedly making my Sims woohoo all night long. Until inevitably my virtual wife falls into a slumber more sexually gratified than I can ever hope to be, so there's that. It might come as a shock to a lot of you that I'm not heterosexual. I would say I'm mainly gay, and what I mean by that is I'm defo into women, but then once a month my ovaries are kind of like, oh, Hannah, marry a man, have babies, adopt a dog. I don't know what straight people do. But that 92%-ish gay is kind of a little bit hard to explain to my Christian family. So I wrote this song as a blanket coming out to all members of the church. I always want to be in bed with you, and you're hot when you're under me too, 'cause I'm a $2.99 Wilco fleece throw with feelings for women. Sorry, that's a blanket coming out. I did write a real one. Let me just play you a bit of that. That's the real coming out. Thought you should probably know that I'm going to hell. I already told Jesus he didn't take it too well. And when I read the Bible, I never liked the disciples. They're all straight white fake news. And why they're no good lesbian Jews? Nobody's gay or transgender, though Mary Magdalene would be a contender. And every one of my priests is a registered sex offender. I'm joking. None of them are registered. Jesus died for my sin, so I could be with women and then repent for it later. That's why I love the Savior. And when I get to those gays, the Lord will say, why are you late? And I say, Lord, I promise I'm faithful, but I just fingered an angel. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The musical stylings of Hannah Ost there. We are ready for the final act. So are you ready? Yes is the answer. It's the only possible answer. Anyway, the question was rhetorical. Talking of rhetoric, the next act, the final act, is Victor Pang. And the anagram, crap voting, which is exactly what we did in the last general election. Crap voting, right? But it's kind of like the opposite of him, because he is woke as hell. So I would like you to welcome our final act for tonight, or whatever time of day you're watching this. Yes, it is, of course, your friend of mine, Victor Pang!
No, I'm kidding. You're not. Your computer didn't freeze. It's me. So, hi everyone. I'm Victor. So yeah, it's my real name, and it's not a name that I give to myself to give white people an easier time. It's real. As you can tell, we are not at the Gulbenkian cafe. I'm in my living room, and what is this? You ask? It's a dream board that I made for myself. It says, "Be healthy." 3B, semi-terrace, and a job. So these are the dreams that will be crushed because of the pandemic. So that's that. Anyway, I think it's such a full circle moment, because in the first year we were forced to read this text called The Empty Space, and now in my final year I get to perform to one. That is amazing, isn't it? So yeah, I think we have had a lot of crazy news lately. So the first one is Trump's suggestion of drinking the disinfectant, and there's so many things wrong with it. And I think I can explain why it's wrong in like just one little moment. So this is a disinfectant, okay? And then when you pour it out into this glass, and now, it's Donald Trump's brain. So yeah, I hope you get the message. Because of the lockdown, I've been watching a lot of gay films in the non-porn category. Just clarify that. Yeah, so, and I realized a lot of straight actors are playing gay characters in the film. I think they're called gay for pay. No, wait, that's a porn category. Never mind. So yeah, and they are winning awards for it, which I think is quite problematic. And I know some of you are going, well, Victor, it's called acting. Don't be a snowflake. You go play a straight character then. I did. It's called being in a closet. And I was in it for 17 years. Where the fuck is my Oscar at? For those of you watching wondering, maybe he's gay, well, fuck you for getting it right. Yes, I'm gay. So I think about gay people is that you have to come out to them, right? You have to come out to people. And I think whenever I come out to people, it's a very awkward process for them because they have to pretend like they've not suspected it at all. Like, oh my god, Victor, you are gay? No fucking way. What gave away? Is it your love for J-Lo? No, come on, get out of here! Get out of here! I am a gay cliche. I love J-Lo, Madonna, men. And growing up as a gay person was very hard because I went to an all-boys Methodist school. So to protect the identity of the school, let's call it Doucheville. So when I went to ACS, damn it. Anyway, I grew up with a bunch of male hormonal teenagers, and it's like not the healthiest environment to be in because they were like monkeys in the sense that they only wank and just throw shit at each other. They're basically monkeys with acne problems, just think about that. But like monkeys, they were quite smart though because they knew that I was gay before I did. So, and I know that because they kept yelling at me about it. They yelled gay in class, corridors, public transport, and also once they did a Facebook quiz to make sure that everyone on the internet knew that I was gay. So when I came out, they were like, that's what we've been trying to tell you! Oh my god, you silly Billy! So it's such a masculine thing to abuse under the guise of care, right? So for LGBT History Month, it just pushed me down a flight of stairs. No, of course I'm kidding. There's no LGBT History Month in Singapore. I don't think they even know what that is. The Burgers a sandwich from Marks and Spencer. Oh, no, it's not the virus, but just in case. Alright, thank you so much. I'm Victor, and have a wonderful night. Stay home, stay safe, treat socialization like how we should treat a Michael Bay movie. Don't go. Alright, stay home, and thank you. God bless everyone.
That was Victor Pang there. What an amazing final act for tonight. So I'm going to finish this as if it was a live stand-up show, but I'm going to go through all the acts you've enjoyed tonight, and I would like you to thank them one more time with your applause. So without further ado, I'd like you to applaud and go wild for Katie Russo, Doug Thirkell-White, Chris Atkinson, Daria Grace, Ethan Walker, Adam Glen, George Leffman, Alf White, Hannah Ost, and of course Victor Pang. I've been your host and compere Ollie Double. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and good night.